So this news is getting shared around. Apparently, it's a powerful message. Much tsuyoy, strong, stark, strength, muscle, toxic masculinity. What is so powerful? Well, apparently this movie, for the first time ever in human history, since the dawn of time, since the first caveman went out of the cave, this is a breakthrough. It's going to have an all-Asian cast. And I'm trying to wonder, why is it that some people get upset about this? Like, what exactly is the problem? And then it came to me. The problem is that it tells you that you're a bad person, okay, or at least you're living in a country with bad people. That it's somehow the people of that country are so racist and so offended by Asian people that they would never conceive a movie with only Asian people. The idea is that it's like an affront to the culture. Like, these are the rebels. They found out that, oh, this system doesn't like, we're going to force our way through the system, And it completely ignores the fact that Asian movies were very popular. It completely ignores the fact that there is another world outside of Hollywood where China exists and they create movies with only Asian actors, that South Korea exists and they create movies with only Asian actors, that Japan exists and they create movies with only Asian actors. Like, there is another world outside of this small bigotry of a couple of Hollywood people, and it's almost like you would feel Aladdin needs to come by with the magic carpet and take these people and go like, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. And not to mention, like, here's another ticker. Do you know that when I grew up, Asian movies were more popular than Hollywood, at least here under the Iron Curtain? Like, every little kid in the classroom, every little child wanted to master Kung Fu and be a ninja. Because that was like, the movies were so popular that in America, throwing stars are banned. Like, you have a nation where people can use guns, but they can't use throwing stars. Like, why is that? Because children were playing with throwing stars because they watched Bruce Lee movies and they watched, other Kung Fu movies, and they were trying to reproduce what they were seeing there. And it was a menace. It was a danger for society, so they had to ban it, But, like, this is what they're doing now in Hollywood. Like, they're creating movies that aren't even comparable to what used to be in the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s. They completely lost all of that talent. They cannot make good movies anymore. So all the money goes on special effects and on marketing. That's it. Like, very little money goes to the actual script. Very little money goes to actually creating a good movie. No, everything is about special effects and everything is about marketing. And one way to market a movie is to show to people that racists, sexists, homophobes, bigots hate this movie, which is a mediocre movie, right? And if you go watch it, if you pay money to go see it, you're somehow sticking it to all of those bad people. And it doesn't work. It's why the get woke, go broke formula has become a thing, because people have noticed that this is a trend. People have been tricked into going to seeing these movies that end up being mediocre. So now when a movie even has the whiff of being woke, they will already assume it's like, well, if this is your advertising, clearly the movie is not that good. Because if the movie is good, you would advertise the story, you would advertise the themes, the plot of that movie, right? Like, that would be the main focus, not the fact that you created a movie that has only Asian people in it. And it's very interesting because I look at Train to Busan, I look at The Kingdom, movies that come from South Korea, they're only having Asian actors. And they're excellent movies. I highly recommend them to other people. There is a world outside of Hollywood. And they create good... I even watched this Spanish movie, that I made a video about it on my channel, The Platform. Like, there are a lot of movies that are now better than Hollywood. I'm sorry to say this, but I think the rest of the world is actually overtaking Hollywood when it comes to the quality of movies, because they're going back to how movies used to be. The focus wasn't on special effects. The focus wasn't on marketing. The focus was on telling a good, interesting, and exciting story. And that's what created pretty much all of the masterpieces that now get reboots, remakes, and all the other crap that you see in Hollywood, you know? They lost their creativity, basically. And it also goes to show that all of the Hollywood actors literally think the same on every single political issue. All of them. Like 99.9% of them, maybe like Kevin Sorbo and a couple of others, like Baldwin, like maybe like 2 or 3 other actors, they're not with the grain. But literally every single other person has the same stances on all of the issues. They have the same stances on who should win the next election. They have the same stances on gun rights. They have the same stances on choice. You know, like literally every single talking point. So you have to wonder, it's like, how is it possible that in an industry where you hire people based on talent and based on acting skill, like literally everyone thinks the same? And then you realize that no, they're not being hired on talent and acting skill. They're being hired on politics. That's it. You know, you have the correct politics, you get in. There is no more quality control when it comes to Hollywood. That's why it's failing. That's why it's not getting a lot of money. You know, and it's literally this. Like, apparently this guy tweeted out, that's a wrap on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. 9 months from now, we will be breaking records and make history as the first superhero movie to feature an all-Asian cast. Well, that's a lie. Actually, it's quite funny too. For all of us who have hated the color of our skin or made to feel less than because of it no more, this is our movie, and it will be impossible for Hollywood to ignore us after this. I mean, yeah, imagine if you saw the same headline coming from India, you know, where a couple of white guys went to Bollywood and made like, oh, this is going to be the first Indian superhero film which features on only white people. All of us here in India that started hating the color of our skin, Bollywood will not be able to ignore us. You're reading that and it's like, is this a propaganda flyer for some political party or, you know, some movement? Like, what is this going on here? You know, like, you have to ask these questions. I mean, yeah, you look at Bollywood, most of the movies coming out there have Indian actors. Does this stop me from watching a good Bollywood movie? I don't know. Tell me when one actually comes out that's good. For example, South Korea, okay? Only Asian actors. Now, South Korea did produce a lot of movies that I like. Yeah, can't think of any good Bollywood production that I enjoyed. They have like really weird movies as well. Like there is this movie that came out from Bollywood where Hitler managed to escape Germany and he got married with a Hindi woman and they have a child and he's like pushing National Socialism. Like, well, what is India doing? But no, that's an actual movie. I think it's a comedy. Yeah. Usually Bollywood goes for like romantic comedies and stuff, and maybe that's why I don't watch them, because I'm not interested in romance. I wanna see people punching each other and zombies and muy violencia on my screen. That's what I wanna see. But yeah, no. So I think this is the main problem, and let's look at the comment section. Let's see if this article has comment sections. Cringy and stupid post, yeah, exactly. Everything is political these days. I say this whenever I see an Asian. There are only 2 races, white and political. Oof, that's a good thing. Oh my god, yeah. If you think about it, it is white and political, because they politicize everything. I mean, look what happens when someone like 50 Cent says, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to vote Republican because I don't like the tax rates," and everyone's like, "But you're black, you can't do this." It's bizarre. His post was obviously for Asians and how they may feel. So we don't have like humans anymore. We have people like no, it's a good thing. Yeah, there's only 2 races, white and political. Like if you're an Asian, you have a. How did they do the mental gymnastic to get to this weird line of thinking? It's so bizarre. Since when do Americans hate Asian people? Yeah, like, good question. You know, this is another one. Is this a thing, though? Like, I'm not an American, but, like, here in Romania, we don't hate Asian people. But, like, is this something that happens in America? As far as I know, like, Asian people even earn more in America than other demographics, including white people. So, like, it's just... No, like it is what Hollywood is now, a bubble. That's literally it. It's a bubble of multimillionaires and multi-billionaires trying to give morality on to the masses.